Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I got the hiccups right in the middle of that sentence. I hope that's the only one. Let me see. Coming up, I have a guest, Michael McCormack. He's got a book out called BornFanatic. Now, if the name Michael McCormack sounds familiar, it's because his father's name was also Michael McCormack, and his father was an NFL player. So this is the son of an NFL player, and he wrote this book called BornFanatic. I think it's a neat idea for a book. Imagine how different his life is when it comes to like football, when he's watching TV and he's seeing, his dad and his dad's friends play. That would be kind of a different thing. So he's got this cool book. We're going to chat with him later in the show. Also, I got a quote for today. You ready for this?
I am ready.
Where is the quote? Here it is. From Jason Fried. It says, "There's nothing wrong with staying small. You can do big things with a small team." That is very true. I know some very big teams that don't get a whole lot of stuff accomplished. Congress. And I know some, I'm just teasing. And then I know some very small teams where they have like 2 or 3 people, and you would never believe they only have 2 or 3 people because they get so much done. So the size of the team, sometimes that's important, but a lot of the time it's
size doesn't matter.
What you just
what you do with it.
It what really matters is how ambitious you are. So you can be just a small team. Would you just stop? A small team with big ambitions is a lot better than a big team with small ambitions. You just sit in that corner. It's your quote for the day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If
you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's May. First of all, it's Wednesday, and it is May the 9th. Can you believe we are already on the 9th of May?
I know.
It just seems like yesterday was January 1st. But it is National Sleepover Day, which is kind of weird on a Wednesday. Maybe that would make more sense if it were on the weekend, but I guess have a sleepover if you want. National Butterscotch Brownie Day. National Lost Sock Memorial Day.
I have never had a butterscotch brownie. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Today is your day. National Moscato Day. I wonder if that goes well with butterscotch brownies. Pairs well, maybe not. National School Nurses Day. Did you ever have to go to the school nurse?
I used to go to school nurse all the time because I hated school, so I'd always pretend like I was sick.
I'm sick again.
Yeah.
What are you sick of now? School.
She'd always give me saltine crackers and send me back to class.
Huh.
And then she told my mom one time at conferences, "I think Heidi really likes my crackers." No, I just really hate class.
It's also National Receptionists Day. I don't know if that's the politically correct term, but that's what it says here. National Third Shift Workers Day. So if you work the third shift, it's your day. And National Bike to School Day. So all of those things happening on this Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. That's 800-818-3967. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs, but first I'm going to play a fun little game with Heidi to see if she can guess. Prison or vineyard?
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's a different little game. So
Okay.
you tell me one of these are all either a prison or a vineyard.
Okay.
So Mule Creek, California. What do you think Mule Creek is? Is it a prison or is it a vineyard?
I think it's a vineyard.
It's the Mule Creek State Prison.
Ah.
Yeah. How about Bunker Hill from Florida? Is Bunker Hill a vineyard or is it a prison?
Vineyard.
It is. Bunker Hill Vineyard just outside of Tampa. How about Two Rivers, Oregon? Is that a prison or is it a vineyard?
Prison.
Two Rivers is a prison. Two Rivers Correctional Facility. Clovis Point, Long Island, New York. Is that a vineyard or is it a prison?
Prison.
It's a vineyard. Oh. Clovis Point is a vineyard on the North Fork of Long Island. St. Bridges, Indiana. St. Bridges, prison or vineyard?
Prison.
St. Brides. Does that change your answer?
Prison.
Okay. St. Brides is a prison. The St. Brides Correctional Facility. And this has been, is it a prison or is it a vineyard?
Funny.
I kind of like that.
I do too.
It's amazing how many, the guy that puts these little lists together, he's got others that we won't do on here.
I like the others. John won't do them.
Well, the one was, is it a strip club or is it a daycare?
I like that one.
We're not going to play that game on the radio.
It was so funny how many of them were
sadly,
interchangeable.
But I just said, we're not doing that here. And then the other one was porn star or weatherman.
I loved that one, too.
I'm not doing that either. But when you think of like the one
Stormy
that's been
Daniels.
it sounds like a meteorologist, really. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is Your Brain on Drugs. A police report states that hours after exchanging vows on a Florida beach, this could have also been fake news or Florida, a newlywed couple was arrested after they got intoxicated and began battling each other inside a hotel room. 61-year-old Daniel Gillen and 49-year-old Guy Raposta were married last weekend in Clearwater Beach. According to the arrest affidavits, they were subsequently drinking, got intoxicated, and were arguing throughout the day. Matters subsequently turned violent in their room at the Clearwater Beach Hotel, and Gillen told the police that Raposta physically started to attack him by scratching him on his chest. Gillen had noticeable scratch marks and injuries to his torso, which were consistent with his statements. And the two of them, then he grabbed her by the neck and pushed her to the ground. His claims were supported by noticeable scratches and scrape marks on her knee. Either way, bad idea. They both are in a little bit of trouble. Gillen was arrested for misdemeanor domestic battery and was later released from custody on his own recognizance. Since Raposta had prior battery convictions, she was charged with felony battery and had to post a $500 bond to get out of jail. This was your wedding night.
We got in a fight on our honeymoon.
Did we really?
Yeah.
It wasn't like you were scratching and
no,
pushing.
We weren't like
we
beating
argued,
each other.
Maybe,
but it was pretty bad. Like I was out on the balcony by myself crying, and you were in the bedroom. And
was I working? It was like, I'll be
probably
done in a minute.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
You don't remember that?
We'll have to talk about it. I don't remember that at all. This has been Your Brain on Drugs. Now, big screen, little screen. After having the biggest opening weekend in the history of the world, Avengers: Infinity Wars is continuing their trek to be the highest earning movie of all time. This last weekend, they made another $112.5 million across North America and rocketed past the $1 billion mark worldwide. And are you ready for this? They haven't even opened in China yet.
Wow.
So they've been out for like a week and a half, and they've made over $1 billion, which is pretty good for a movie, from what I've been told. It's pretty good for anything, really. So they're doing okay. And here's the funny thing. I've got some friends on Facebook who are arguing. One said one of the best movies he's ever seen, and the other one said terrible movie. It was awful. And then they had like 50 little bubbles of arguments that I had to read all of. I was like,
why'd you have to read them?
Because I was just fascinated by one person saying it's the best movie ever and the other one saying it was worst. And I read all these articles, these little bubbles while they're arguing back and forth, and they never would agree. I think the one unfriended the other over a movie.
So ridiculous.
Hey, now let's get to the little screen. Host Chris Harrison says some of the contestants on this coming season of The Bachelorette are not there for the right reasons. Looking for love?
What are the right reasons?
That's kind of what I was wondering. You're talking about marrying a stranger for money. They're not there for the right reasons. You're absolutely right.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. This has been Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
John and Heidi.
Now, your scoop of the day, courtesy of 49bydesign.com. China is now monitoring data directly from the brains of their workers. How does that work?
What?
This is a story. There's an absolutely true story. I've got a link to it in our show notes if you want to read it. But they're now monitoring the data directly from the brains of their workers. So they know what you're thinking, Heidi.
Okay.
I do that here as well, but it's because we've been married for 18 years.
How they could even... I don't understand.
I
that
monitor
story.
the data in your brain just by the look on your face.
Oh, I know.
I know exactly what you're saying. That's why I usually stop you before
I
you
know.
say it. And I'm like, no. Don't do that. I don't want to get in trouble.
Bad idea.
A study from Baylor University found that writing a to-do list before bed will lead to a better night's sleep. I should start doing that. Because there are times I'll be laying there getting ready to go to bed, and I'm like, tomorrow I got to do this, and I got to do this, and then I just have it all on my head.
You should do that.
I should
Lists
have,
are good.
like, write a list. Yeah, Heidi loves lists.
I do love
She
lists.
gives me a list, and the first thing on the list is make a list. So Baylor University said, yeah, there's actually a lot to that. In Italy, a lovesick guy stole an ambulance so he could serenade his sweetheart. So
From an ambulance?
Well, he used the siren to get her attention. Police say he jumped into an ambulance, turned on the siren,
gosh.
and then they have like a thing where you can talk over a speaker. He sang
Right.
romantic love songs to his girlfriend until the neighbors called about a noise complaint. And the fact that he stole the ambulance certainly didn't help him. Mr. Romance Man, maybe next time don't steal the ambulance first. I bet if he was standing outside her door, like just singing to her, that people probably wouldn't have called the police on that. But to have an ambulance siren blaring outside your windows, not a good plan. Now let's head to India. A 22-year-old man was arrested for attempting to sit in for his 12-year-old sister's junior college entrance exam on her behalf. And it gets better. The 22-year-old man said he got the idea of putting on a wig and a dress to pass himself off as his sister from a movie. So he seriously... This guy, what a brother. What a great brother.
What a great brother.
Would your brother have done that for you?
Oh, no.
I don't think I would have done that for any of my sisters. I love my sisters dearly, but I don't think I would have dressed up like them and pretended to be them to take an exam. Pretty sure nowadays my goatee would give me away anyway. So,
Wow.
Excuse me, Julie, when did you grow the goatee?
That is
Yes,
hilarious.
I'm Julie. So this 22-year-old kid, I think it's kind of a nice thing that he did that. Guitar maker Gibson had to file for bankruptcy. That's really sad. They've been around forever.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there. Drivers on an interstate in Indiana. This was last week. I've got tons of stories here that I need to just purge. So maybe today will be the day that I do it, Heidi. I'm going to go
Probably
through.
not.
I might, though.
You might, but probably not.
Put that on my list. But I
Your
did
non-existent list.
I did this a couple weeks ago, and it really was kind of nice. I went through and I took all of the stuff that I had been like hoarding for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I turned it into one post in our show notes. And it was stuff that never was said on the radio, but it was great things that were sent to me. So I think I might do that again. But this is a story we got to share here, because I want to know what Heidi would have done. Drivers on an interstate in Indiana were scrambling to grab cash, fistfuls of cash, when an armored car door popped open and spewed hundreds of thousands of dollars onto the highway. So what would you have done if you were driving down the road and you started seeing money flying all over? Would you stop and start picking up cash?
Of course.
Would you give it to the drivers of the truck?
I would once I saw there was a truck, yes. I would give it to them.
I would too.
Because I'm pretty sure that's a federal offense.
It
so
is. As a matter of fact,
absolutely, I would give it to them.
They're in trouble right now. Anybody who got some of that cash and kept some of that cash, there were dash cams that caught video, like license plates.
Mm-hmm.
So they're tracking it down. They don't know exactly how much was there, but they will be able to count it all out. Our son works in that industry, the armored car cash delivering industry, and I
would
can only
definitely
imagine,
give it back.
I can only imagine how awful it would be for him to come home and say, "Well, I had a
Here's
bad
what
day."
happened today.
So I'm praying for the people who were in that truck, because I bet their day did not go well last week. This has been your Scoop of the Day, courtesy of 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Do Do you have ideas for t-shirt designs, but you don't have a clue how to print them? Or maybe you'd like to have t-shirts and coffee mugs available to buy online with your business logo printed on them. There's a website that makes it easy. We set ours up in about 10 minutes. There's no sign-up fee, no minimum orders, no monthly fees. It's just a really easy way to put some cool items online for sale, and you get paid every time somebody buys them. You don't have to print or ship anything. Just sign up, upload your designs, and then let people know where they can get your cool stuff. More details available at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us today. We're going to be visiting with Michael McCormack. He's an author. He's also, you may recognize the name if you're a football fan from the NFL. He's got this new book called Born Fanatic, My Life in the Grip of the NFL. First of all, let's say hello to Michael. How are you, sir?
I'm good, John. How are you?
Fantastic. Now, for folks that maybe are not huge football fans or maybe don't follow sports as much as the others, let's talk a little bit about your past so they can understand who we're talking to here.
Yeah, and indeed, you would have to be a long-standing football fan to really recognize my father's name, as you mentioned, John. When I was born, and this was the late 50s, so we're going back a ways. When I was born, my dad was a world champion Cleveland Brown, which is a phrase we probably will not hear again in our lifetimes. At least I don't expect to. But that set the stage for the subtitle of the book, Being Born in the Grip of the NFL. As I tell readers and folks I have the good fortune of talking to, I knew the world of pro football, and it defined my life before I knew what it was like to be an American or even a member of my church. Football was 24/7, 365, and then some. And then even when he retired into roughly the mid-60s, he rolled right into the sidelines as an assistant coach with the Redskins. He was head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles when I was in high school, and that was a kind of a turning point for me in my relationship with both my dad and with the game of professional football. And then he continued in various aspects of the pro game. In fact, I think he checked every box possible working with the NFL, because he was player, assistant coach, head coach, went to the front office, and then the last step in his career in the late 90s, he helped establish the Carolina Panthers franchise and was president and for a while general manager of that franchise before he permanently retired in 1997. So it's all I knew. Now, I didn't play. I was an uber fanatic of the game, for better and for worse sometimes.
And you had the front row seat, really, and living in the same household as all of this stuff was going on. And as you mentioned, your dad had pretty much every job in the NFL other than cheerleader, but he probably got a chance to do a lot of cheering for the teams as well.
Well, that's true, but that was my mom's job.
Oh, very nice. So what was it like growing up in that? I suppose to you that was just normal, so it may even be kind of hard to know what it would have been like to not grow up in that, I suppose.
That's exactly right, and exactly right, John. And it wasn't, frankly, until after his death about 4 years ago when I started to reflect on that very issue that you described. How did this happen? What was the meaning of all this? And perhaps I sort of suspect that for any son, and particularly an oldest son and namesake of a father figure, his passing, and certainly did it for me, provoked a lot of reflection about our relationship. Some of the things that we suffered from, in part because of football and the notoriety, for sure. But the game made an imprint on our lives, no question about it. And being caught not just in the grip of the NFL, but in the grip of victory and defeat, of winning and losing, and how that affected our relationship, affected my life. That's some of what I address in the book. What I learned from that in the aftermath of his death. And there were some great times. There were some not so great times. Indeed, his resume, full as it is and celebrated as it is, the two blemishes are his head coaching stints with the Eagles and with the Baltimore Colts. head coaching just didn't go well for him, and those were some tough times.
No, and the book just came out last month, and this time of year, it's got to be kind of interesting for somebody who knows all the ins and outs as we go through, that the draft, and everybody's watching that. When you were in the same household with your father, and you guys were kind of preparing for that has to be kind of an exciting time as you're kind of picking new teams and getting things ready to go.
And I mentioned in the book that I think one of his greatest skills was talent evaluation, evaluating players, particularly being an offensive lineman as he was. He had a real keen eye for offensive linemen, and not only did he coach, but he scouted. And back in the day, 60s, 70s, even 80s. The coaches went out. They didn't have the combine as we know it today, where the players kind of came to one central location. My dad traveled during the off season constantly, evaluating players, going to colleges, having these pro days, if you will. And I think he loved that aspect of the job as much as anything.
Again, visiting right now with Michael McCormack. He is the author of a new book that just recently came out. It is called Fanatic. I'm on the website right now, and I'm going to throw a link on here to make it really easy for folks to find. I see you've got a blog as well, so if people want to kind of follow along and get some more information and stay updated. But it's called Fanatic, My Life in the Grip of the NFL. And again, thank you for taking some time to chat with us about the book. And I know just from the early reviews, people are loving this. And it's got to feel really good for you to see people who, their name is synonymous with sports, and you're seeing their reviews of your book, and they're just loving it. That's got to feel really good.
It's humbling, and I'm very grateful for the attention. I'm most grateful to be able to talk to fans about what I think is the greatest team sport ever created. So, John, thanks for that.
Absolutely. Again, our guest today has been Michael McCormack, and the book is called Fanatic, My Life in the Grip of the NFL. I've got a link to it on our show notes blog at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
It's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough, available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The world's youngest parents ever were how old, do you think? How old were the world's youngest parents ever? From 1910.
7 and 8 years old.
No, you were close, though. 8 and 9 years old. They lived in China, and they had their child in 1910.
I think I remember seeing them in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh, that could be. Yeah, probably.
I knew they were little.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Kotex was the first company, or they first manufactured bandages during World War I, and it was after that they said, hey, you know what? We got all the stuff to make it. Let's do this. So Kotex first manufactured bandages.
You can catch all kinds of blood.
Yeah, then one... Wow. One last fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In the 16th and 17th centuries in the country of Turkey, anyone caught drinking coffee was put to death.
Oh, my.
Yeah, that's not good. So I'd be in trouble because I kind of like coffee. Couple of fun facts right there, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, the grandiloquent word for today is loquacious. Loquacious. What do you think loquacious means, Heidi?
I don't know.
Just don't say whatever it is you're thinking, because it doesn't mean that. Loquacious is an adjective characterized by excessive talk or wordy. If you are overly talkative, you are quite loquacious.
Okay.
I am quite loquacious, and I'm okay with that. Here's a sentence, by the way. There are very few things in life that annoy me more than a person who is equal parts ignorant and loquacious. Well, thank you. Are you talking to me, grandiloquent word people? This has been your grandiloquent word of the day.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now, some weird news for you on a Wednesday. Authorities say an Arkansas man is under investigation for claiming he tracked Bigfoot for the U.S. government. Well, he's been arrested on child pornography charges. So I don't think he was arrested for the Bigfoot stuff, but we'll continue the story. 46-year-old Keith Barnes was investigated after people reported seeing him wearing a uniform with a badge and claiming he was a cryptozoologist with the Interior Department. The department says that job title does not exist. And Barnes does not work for that agency. Lawrence County Sheriff officials say they received an anonymous tip that Barnes viewed or possessed child pornography. They got that during their impersonation investigation. He was released from jail after posting bond, scheduled to appear in court on June 18th. So he was arrested for both of those things, I guess. So it is illegal to say that you work for the government when you don't and walk around with a fake badge. So I guess that's not good. Don't do that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Now we know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com. Police say a 36-year-old Ohio woman, Jamie Revis, has been arrested for stealing a butterfly from an Ohio botanical garden exhibit. The theft was recorded by surveillance camera, prompting police to seek public's help in finding the butterfly. Court documents say police used information from an Instagram account to arrest Revis. She's charged with theft of stealing a blue morpho butterfly. Blue morpho butterflies are native to Central and South America rainforests and have a life cycle of about 115 days. So next time you go to a place that has butterflies, don't steal no butterflies.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would do that. And then she was posting on Instagram
It's not
that
going
she
to live
did it.
very long anyway. Why get yourself into trouble?
Yeah, it's a bad idea. I remember going to the zoo in Omaha, Nebraska. They got a beautiful zoo.
that time we stole that monkey.
We didn't steal a monkey, but there was, it's funny, there was a monkey, this like a little tiny one that you could have stuck it in your pocket. It's like the size of a squirrel, and he kept running right over by us, and Heidi said, you think we could catch that monkey? I was like, what would we do if we did? And
Take it home.
We just got to the zoo. Well, we're leaving already. And our bags bouncing around. I don't know what's going on here. Don't look suspicious at all. We would not have stolen a monkey. So, and you don't want to steal a butterfly either. It's a bad idea. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
it's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough, available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this fake news or did this really happen in Florida? A Florida man arrested on charges of battery and domestic violence for throwing a big mouth Billy Bass singing fish at another man. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
True story. That absolutely did happen. A man from Sebastian, Florida was arrested. I've got a link to the whole story if you want to read all about it. All right, we'll do one more. Fake news or Florida? A Florida man in custody after he taunted deputies on his four-wheeler with a beer in one hand, driving circles around them, shouting, "Come get me." Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say Florida.
It is true story. You can't make this stuff up. I don't think I've had to have a fake news now for like 2 weeks because I got so many real stories. Heidi's just on auto Florida because they've all been true lately. By the way, thank you to everybody who's sending me. At first, I had people that were saying, I just don't think it's fair you're picking on Florida. But now I have people, they're picking on Florida. I don't even have room for all the stories. And again, it's not that we're trying to pick on Florida. It's just kind of a fun little thing to do. So if you would like to submit your fake news or Florida, you can submit fake news as well. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. Maybe you can. You can submit that as well. We've got a link to all of these stories in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here on a positive note, because there are times in this show that we have stories that I almost cringe that we even read those. But we do like to make sure we do something good for mankind. So we end every day, every program with good news. And our good news comes your way courtesy of Odiva. Odiva is a monthly subscription service just for the ladies, and all of the details can be found at radiosavings.com. Do you know a veteran who needs a new smile? Because there's a dental office that is helping out. This is such a cool story.
I love that.
And they're doing this, a free dental day for veterans. And I'm going to read the story to you. My computer's going slow here. It says, if you or a veteran you know needs some dental work, now is your chance to sign up to restore a shining smile commiserate with your service. It's a word I don't use. Commiserate? Is that a word? Apparently it is. 5th year now that they've been doing this. 450 locations around America. On June 9th are going to be doing a thing called, where's the name for it here? Okay, Annual Day of Service. That's what it's called. And it's at places called Aspen Dental. And they're all over the United States. June 9th, there are going to be 5,000 veterans who are going to get some much-needed free
that is awesome.
dental care. Yeah, it's really neat. So the previous 4 years of Day of Service events have resulted in $10.3 million in donated dentistry.
Oh, I love that. I'm so glad they're doing that.
I am so happy as well. I've got a link to the story if you'd like to read about it. It says, the VA only provides dental benefits to veterans who are classified as 100% disabled or have been a prisoner of war or have a service-connected dental condition or disability. But this is an opportunity for everybody. In addition to their Day of Service events coming up in June, Aspen Dental's Healthy Mouth Movement has a thing called a Mouthmobile. It's a 42-foot bus that travels around the nation offering free dental care to veterans all the time. So I think it's really neat that they do that. I love it as well. I've got a link to the story. Thank you for sharing that with me. This is, again, our good news, and you'll find that in our show notes. It's the very last thing. It's at the very bottom, not because it's the least important, but after you scroll through the rest of the show notes and you say, what kind of show is this anyway?
You kind of need something good.
We need to have something positive there. Again, our good news comes your way courtesy of Odiva. It's a monthly subscription service for the ladies, and there's a link to that info as well. Again, in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening on a Wednesday.